What if the system was never designed for you to succeed? In the early 1800s, a single schoolroom model was built to process hundreds of children at once, not to unlock their potential, but to manufacture obedience at scale. That blueprint did not disappear. It evolved into the career pipelines, the performance reviews, and the digital feeds keeping you average right now. And most people never question where it all started. In the heart of early 19th century New York, a new kind of classroom took shape, one that would define what learning meant for generations. The Lancasterian system, imported from England, was not about nurturing curiosity or unlocking hidden talent. It was about scale, order, and efficiency. One master stood at the front, but he did not teach every child directly. Instead, older students, called monitors, relayed lessons down the rows, enforcing rote repetition and strict discipline. Hundreds of children sat in silence, drilled through the same motions. Their progress measured not by insight or creativity, but by their ability to follow instructions and repeat answers on command. This was not an accident. The New York Public School Society, founded in 1805, sought a way to educate the city's swelling population as cheaply and uniformly as possible. The monitorial relay method allowed one adult to control and condition vast numbers of students at once, mirroring the assembly lines and factory floors rising across the city. Every aspect of the Lancasterian classroom was planned: the seating charts, the daily routines, even the punishments for stepping out of line. The goal was not to foster independence, but to manufacture predictable outcomes: obedience, punctuality, and a readiness to take orders. The system's architects saw children less as individuals, more as raw material to be shaped for the needs of industry and order. This blueprint did not fade away. Its logic of routine, repetition, and control became the foundation for mass schooling, and later, for the credential pipelines and performance metrics that define success today. The original intent was never to help you stand out, but to keep everyone moving in sync, manageable and average. Every day, the routine begins before you even realize it. You wake up to an alarm, just as you once rose to the sound of a school bell. From your earliest years, your time was divided into blocks: math at 9, reading at 10, lunch at noon, each segment marked off by a chime or a teacher's command. You moved through corridors with people your age, never questioning why the world was organized by birth year. This was not just about learning math or grammar. It was about learning to move when told, to sit when told, to wait for permission before speaking or leaving the room. The bell did not care if you were in the middle of a thought. The schedule did not care if you learned faster or slower than the group. These patterns did not end at graduation. Age grading became job titles and pay bands. The bell schedule turned into clocking in and out, lunch hours, and meetings that always start on the hour. The habit of waiting for permission, of measuring your worth by how well you follow the routine, seeps into adult life. Longitudinal studies like high school and beyond show that students raised in rigid, bell-driven environments are 22% more likely to choose stable, hierarchical careers, jobs where predictability is rewarded and risk is quietly discouraged. You might feel the comfort of routine, the safety of knowing what comes next, but that same comfort can dull your sense of possibility. The system does not need you to be exceptional. It needs you to be reliable, on time, and easy to sort. Over years, the repetition becomes invisible. What once felt like discipline becomes second nature. You may call it normal, but it is not designed to help you grow. It is designed to keep you in line. A college degree once opened doors. Now, it's just the price of admission. Roles that asked for a high school diploma a generation ago, like administrative assistant, sales manager, even entry-level analyst, now demand a bachelor's, sometimes a master's, just to get a resume read. This is not about rising job complexity. It is about gatekeeping. Employers sort stacks of applications by degree, not by skill or potential. The result is a funnel that narrows your choices before you even start. Between 1970 and 2020, the percentage of jobs requiring a 4-year degree more than doubled in the United States. In 1980, only 16% of administrative assistants had a college diploma. By 2020, that number climbed above 60%. For many roles, the degree does not add new knowledge. It signals you are safe, you can follow instructions, you know how to play the game. Credential inflation drives up the cost of standing out. Each new layer, certificates, graduate degrees, unpaid internships, raises the bar but not the reward. The system rewards those who stay on the treadmill, who collect credentials, who never leave the safe path. And with every step deeper into this funnel, your choices shrink. The freedom to define your own direction is quietly traded for the comfort of following a proven route. The system is not just sorting talent, it is manufacturing predictability. Inside most workplaces, the rules are written in numbers. Your performance is tracked, scored, and compared. Quarterly targets, sales quotas, customer ratings, and project completion rates set the agenda. The official story says these metrics help you grow. In practice, they train you to optimize for what is measured, not for what matters. You learn to hit the quota, close the ticket, submit the report. The safest route is to repeat what worked last time, avoid mistakes, and never risk missing a target. Across industries, 92% of companies now use standardized KPIs to evaluate employees. Studies show that in firms where quarterly targets dominate, innovation drops by up to 40%. Workers spend their days chasing predictable wins, not bold ideas. At 3M, the famous 15% time for experiments once led to the Post-it note. When that freedom was replaced by strict output targets, new product ideas fell by more than a quarter. The message is clear. The system rewards those who play it safe. Promotions go to the reliable, not the inventive. Bonuses are tied to numbers, not to breakthroughs. Over time, you learn to avoid risk, to repeat what is proven, to trade creative energy for the comfort of a steady review cycle. The organization does not need you to stand out. It needs you to fit a pattern, reliable, measurable, and easy to manage. Scroll, tap, wait. The feed never ends, and neither does the urge to keep going. Product designers know exactly what keeps you hooked, not a steady stream of rewards, but a pattern that mimics the unpredictability of slot machines. Each swipe or refresh is a pull of the lever. Sometimes you get a like, a comment, a new notification, and often you get nothing. The uncertainty is what keeps your thumb moving. Dopamine spikes with every unpredictable hit, and your brain learns to crave the next one. This is not accidental. Tech companies hire behavioral scientists to fine-tune these variable ratio reward systems, running thousands of A/B tests to see which notification patterns keep you coming back. When likes or messages arrive at random intervals, engagement shoots up. Users check their phones an average of 96 times a day, but rarely remember why they picked it up in the first place. The feed is engineered to be bottomless, the rewards just out of reach, always enough to keep you scrolling. Over time, your attention fragments. The urge to check becomes automatic, a reflex. You are not choosing what to see or when to stop. The system is choosing for you. Breaking out of these loops is not just a matter of willpower. The odds are stacked against you by design. Your brain is wired to stick with what is familiar, a principle called status quo bias. It is easier to accept the routine, even if it leaves you restless, than to step into the unknown. Companies and platforms count on this. Every day you stay in the loop, they profit. Social apps, for example, rake in billions from your attention while regulators struggle to keep up. In 2022, global social media revenue topped $200 billion, yet meaningful regulation lags years behind. The gap between profit and oversight grows wider with every algorithm tweak and every new feature that keeps you scrolling. The system does not just rely on your habits, it protects them. The feedback you get is engineered to feel rewarding enough to keep you coming back, but not so satisfying that you ever feel finished. Even when you start to question the cycle, the exit ramps are narrow and hard to find. You face not just your own inertia, but the weight of industries built to keep you engaged, compliant, and average. The longer you stay, the harder it feels to leave. The system is not broken. It is working exactly as intended. Every day, algorithms and routines shape your choices, often without your consent. Comfort is easy to sell, and compliance is profitable. The system rewards predictability, not potential. If you feel stuck, ask yourself, whose interests does your comfort serve? Sometimes, the safest path is the most controlled.